Where's the timer? I'm resident of Colorado, Joel Saints for YouTube, joined by my buddy Mark Gillman and joined by my buddy Daniel Culver. We're here to discuss Friday the 13th, Part 7. Jason takes on Jean Grey. I mean, somebody who has Jean Grey-like power.
Carrie White.
This was, guys, I'm going to ask you guys both this. Do you guys sort of, I know we're a ways off from Freddy versus Jason. Do you think this is the movie that sort of gives them the confidence that they can pull off Freddy versus Jason?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I agree. To me, this felt like Freddy versus Carrie, Stephen King's Carrie.
Yep. It's really, the effects are really good. I know there's a lot of editing with the blood. That's been a subject of this movie. But other than that, I really enjoy it. It's very entertaining. And the story is, though we're getting another sort of mental patient, because the last mental patient we saw was Tommy Jarvis. And we're getting a female. We have not had a solo female protagonist in a good while.
Yeah.
And we're getting that with this film. What did you guys think of that, finally getting a solo female protagonist back?
I actually liked that.
Yeah.
I like that too, because I'm like, I usually find, and this isn't throwing shade at male leads, but a lot of times I find female characters and female leads a lot more interesting than males, because for the most part, not all of them, but a lot of male leads are like, they kill the bad guy, they get the girl, copy paste, so on. And it seems like a lot of female leads, and that's why I love horror so much, is because you have so many final girls that are leading the story, and it's a lot more unpredictable. They have more to overcome, and it takes its own path more often. So I really like Tina, and there was a lot to her where she had the telekinesis, and she had the weight of killing her father when she was a child and carrying that with her for years.
Yeah. Daniel, what did you think?
Yeah, I'd say, I'd say she's a good character. And Mark, talked about it, with what he was saying. She feels the guilt of, killing her father, which is understandable. It was a pretty interesting concept, because it actually made her, even though she has psychic powers, it still made her, seem human too. Most people would feel guilty if they killed their own father.
Oh yeah.
I would literally watch this, and when I watched this movie, when I was a kid, I literally watched it after watching Firestarter.
Oh, good one.
Like when I was a kid, like Firestarter was on TV, and I rented Part 7. I don't know how that lined up, but it did.
Yeah, that's a good follow-up.
Right? Like, this is Friday the 13th, Part 7. I'll rent it. So, when did you guys first see this movie?
I don't remember. I know it starts like a broken record, but I don't remember exactly when I first. But I do know I bought the DVD with, along with, like, there's sets, for those that don't know, where you can get like 2 movies in one, and this came with Part 8, and I bought that in 2016.
Okay, for me, it was 2018 in the spring. I hadn't seen a lot of the Friday the 13th movies, and I got the one Blu-ray set that had the original 8 Paramount films in one set. So I binge watched a lot of them the week of Friday the 13th. I think it was in May, maybe April or May. But yeah, that's when I saw this one for the first time.
we're gonna mail Daniel an AARP card for the forgetfulness, just for the fun of it. um, we're rubbing off on him. We plead guilty, Your Honor, guilty. But what did you guys think of the Doctor in this movie? Very, very interesting character.
I'd say he is interesting, but I also thought he was a douchebag as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think he was that. I don't. I don't know. I thought he was. I'm used to Dr. Loomis, so I couldn't help but not compare him to Dr. Loomis, and I didn't like the guy. I mean, he was interesting, but I didn't like him very much.
I found it very weird that they have. I'll say this: the character has a mental stability issue, has a mental flaw from killing her father, as you guys have touched on too with this. I sort of wish my only real big issue with this movie is the Doctor is literally the worst character in this movie, and not because he's just okay. I'm not talking the writers here. As a character, your idea is to take a girl with really strong psychic abilities, telekinesis, if you will, and square her off against Jason Voorhees. But where's the ringside seats? Like why? Like it felt like this movie was made more for like I don't know today, like modern day. Like it's more made for like a YouTube audience or like a prime time cable. It what I'm getting at, it felt like it was made more for like a box office. I'm not talking like from our standpoint, like a real life standpoint. But I'm talking like he was wanting to make some sort of money off this. But he doesn't. He wants to find out if she can really do this. I'm thinking there's literally 1,000 other things you can do to find out if this girl can do this, and you're going to choose this. Yeah, dude, you're dead.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, he could have just put something on a table, had, to see if she can move it, just baby step it, not, like facing her off against a big thing like Jason Voorhees. No.
What did you think of this, Daniel?
Yeah, you actually had a good point. Yeah, like I could see that happening too. He finds out she can do these amazing things. Well, I know, obviously, but then he writes a book about it, like Rob Zombie's version of Dr. Loomis. Like make money off of it.
Yeah,
right. I think that's the thing too.
That's a good parallel.
Right. He is a bit like Rob Zombie's Sam Loomis, but he's also a bit like our Dr. Julia Hoffman too, where he's wanting to get famous. But here's the thing. But where Barnabas, you can bargain with his ass. There's no bargaining with Jason.
No.
like Barnabas will actually talk to you. Yeah, Jason's not saying shit.
No.
So again, his end game, his plan sucks from just a logic standpoint. I really like the male lead in this movie. He's very smart. He's not in the movie a ton, and I like the fact that they're throwing his brother a surprise birthday party. And so we're so used to hearing about Jason's birthday, but hey, someone else has a Friday the 13th birthday.
Yeah. Jason's not having anybody horn in on that birthday.
What did you think of this, Daniel?
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's really what did you guys think of Tina's mom?
Oh, I would say she isn't really a bad character. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say she's like the greatest character of all time, but she actually gets mad when she finds out what Dr. Cruz is doing. So at least she cares about her daughter.
Yeah.
Mark?
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback onto that, and you know, she could have, and I'm trying not to speak too much personal here. I had mixed feelings about it for a little while, and any victim of like domestic abuse, I feel bad for, because I've
Yeah.
been there, um, not with my parents, but I've been there, and
Yeah.
so I very much sympathize with her mom. And I guess her mom could have had a grudge saying, "You killed your dad, you killed my husband, whatever." But I think, like what Daniel was saying, in the end, she proved that she really did love her daughter, not her doctor, um, that she loved the daughter, and that the mama bear mode kicked in, and she wanted to protect her from the doctor.
Yeah. I think what I sort of wonder, again, I know I talked about Freddy versus Jason a bit, but I'm sort of wondering if this is sort of Friday the I don't really think it is, but I'd always wondered when I was little, was Friday the 13th trying to perhaps get in with the comic books, and we're going to see this big crossover with superheroes and our favorite horror characters? I mean, that'd have been cool. But because I'm sort of wondering, I could see Tina as a member of the X-Men. I mean, hell,
Yeah.
but that never happens. But it'd have been cool to see for sure.
Mhm.
I do like the fact that they have they have all these bodies falling out of the trees just left and right in front of Tina. They're like some of them are half naked, some of them are just pure naked. It's just like, it's just raining bodies. It's a cool little moment in this movie. What's
Yep.
you guys' favorite scene?
Well, my favorite scene, I would actually say it's the beginning part with, when Tina accidentally kills her dad. It had a lot of emotion, like, like Mark mentioned how her mom was abused. Like, you heard the slap, and from there, that her dad just hit her mom. We didn't see it, but we didn't have to, and it makes sense that she would be really mad about that. And of course, she didn't mean to kill her dad, so it's not like she's like this bad person. She's just she was just a kid that made a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. And wasn't aware of, the power that she had, and all that
Yeah.
messed it up.
I'd say a close second though is the fight scene at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, the fight scene in the end is really good. Mark, what's yours?
I have to say this one had a lot of my favorite kills in it.
Mm.
And those kind of overshadowed things for me. I think my two favorites were, number one was the sleeping bag kill. That was nice. It was there was something satisfying about that. And then when the girl in the van got the party horn uh, stuck in her eye, and the just like the little honk sound effect that it made when it went in was neat. But I also like the way that Jason looked when he was unmasked. I thought
Yeah.
that was pretty awesome. Seeing zombie Jason like that.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Hmm.
Yeah, when I first watched this, I wasn't expecting an unmasking, and it was
Hmm.
nice to get it in this movie. And what's cool is this is the mask that gets destroyed is the mask from 3.
Hmm.
So it's the last time we're going to see that mask.
Yeah.
We're going to see a brand new hockey mask on Jason when Jason Takes Manhattan happens, or I should say, Jason Takes Canada.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, that'll be next week. That'll be real fun. But this movie. What did you guys? What? Who? I forget the girl's name with the pearls because she's such a bad
I think
person.
it's
I'll say.
Melissa, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
That girl deserved to be. I love her death. Her death is my favorite because
Mhm.
she's been asking for it the whole film, and she
Oh
gets it.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Actually, when her oh sorry to interrupt, but yeah, when her pearls were going up, I thought she was gonna get choked with the necklace, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, that's something about like some of the Friday the 13th movies is like they make some characters that you love to hate so much, and it's like you can't wait for them to get theirs.
What did you know what I find really weird? And it happens in this movie where somebody's sneaking downstairs and most of the people being killed off. And I think it's the guy who puts himself in a straitjacket. And Jason's just standing there in the darkness waiting for him. It's really weird. I'm thinking, why is he sneaking? He's what are you doing?
Hmm.
What they should have did was played Saturday Night Fever, staying alive, like Bee Gees staying alive, and had
Hmm.
Jason dancing disco style.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Oh,
can tell by the way he walks, he's a mama's man.
that's right.
Uh,
That's right.
but yeah, I uh, I like that too. It was cool seeing Jason being kind of stealthy.
Yeah, very. I mean, just creepy too. It's the
Hmm.
cabin's all dark, and this is the darkest we see the cabin too. I mean,
Hmm.
I won't say it's the darkest scene because to me the woods was how dark they made these woods was really cool. That's something I liked about this movie too, the lighting in the woods or the lack of it. But the lack of lighting in the cabin for that scene was one of the best darkness scenes I've seen in a horror movie in a while. Ever
Hmm.
since Halloween 4 when Sheriff Meeker's house is all dark is
Hmm.
really good. But this is
Yeah.
really good too, and I like how dark it looks. What did you
Hmm.
guys think?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree. I think the it set a really good mood, uh, because this one, I love part six. I really love part six. Um, but I felt like a lot of the scare factor was gone from part six, and I
Yeah.
feel like this kind of brought it back a little bit more. This movie brought back that creepy tone to it.
Well, since you weren't here last week, let me ask you this about part 6. What's your favorite kill from it?
Oh man. I would say probably the paintball gun, the paintball kill. That was good. And I loved, and it had the best opening credit scene where it was like 007, where Jason
Yeah.
walked across and threw the machete.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
And my favorite line in that was when the kids looked at each other, because this was the first one where we ever actually got to see the camp kids.
Yeah.
And like when one of them looked at the other and was like, well, what were you going to be when you grew up? Because they figured they were about to die. So I thought that was kind of funny. I like that.
What did you think of the sheriff in part 6?
He was likable.
Yeah, he
He
was.
was he was really likable. I liked the guy. I thought he was pretty good.
I think so. Something me and Daniel talked about too with him is he he's trying to get people to move on from Jason. He has every reason to.
Hmm.
Jason's dead. Nothing. Well, that wasn't until Tommy showed up.
Hmm.
Uh, but to get to this fight scene for part 7, Michael Buffer couldn't make it because he said, "I'm not risking my life." No, I'm kidding. Uh,
Yeah, I'm not getting in the middle of this.
like, no, you guys aren't paying me enough for this shit.
Right.
But what a fight sequence! a lot of great special effects are really, really done. I forget the director's name, and I know he passed away too from cancer, but
Yeah.
really, he's a special effects artist, but really, really, he, by the way, he has a cameo at the end of this movie when he picks up Jason's broken mask, but really, really, really good special effects in this movie with the fight sequence. What's you guys' favorite moment from the fight sequence?
Uh, I'm not sure, to be honest. I hate to say it, but I'm not sure.
Sorry.
I don't know. I don't know that I can really pick a favorite moment from it, but I just thought the whole concept of it was pretty awesome. I had lukewarm feelings about the dad coming back,
Yeah.
sort of. Because I was like, was he really likable?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to feel glad that he's shown back up against? I felt a kind of way about that, but I mean, the whole concept of the fight was awesome.
Well, what I would have loved to have seen with Jason, instead of it being her dad, every person Jason drowned in that lake coming up to grab Jason would have been the
Oh yeah,
goal.
that would have been nice.
But
Nice.
they don't do that because I agree with you. The dad is just like, really that jerk.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, I don't know.
No, I'm with you. It's like,
Mhm.
really? Why don't you just have Michael Myers pop out the lake? That'll be
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
It's just okay. Like we've all watched Dark Shadows.
hmm
There's a moment where Roger's a dick at times with David.
yeah, yeah.
Right?
That's
Okay,
true.
but the difference is Roger grows as a character. He
hmm
grows to start to care for David. And I think that's the thing too. We never really see that with the dad in part 7. We
Yeah.
don't see this caring figure. We hear a smack, we hear an argument and a smack, and then he's dead, and that's it. And it's like,
hmm
well, there goes that redemption. No matter if you have his dead ass pop out of the water or not, his redemption is done.
Yeah.
You know? But
I mean, I get where it may have meant something to her, but
yeah,
to me, as a member of the audience, I was like, eh, so what?
yeah. It's just, what did you think, Daniel?
Yeah, I'd agree. We didn't really have much of a connection.
Yeah,
hmm
he's just, there's just some characters you can't redeem.
hmm
Like, especially when you don't spend a lot of time with them, and the little time you get, you get basically two sequences,
hmm
and the two sequences aren't great from a character standpoint, and then the character dies. It's like, well, that character's basically gone, and then wait, he's coming out the lake. The rest of you, like, could you get anybody else? I mean, literally anybody
Yeah.
else.
hmm
But no, they don't. I'll give you my favorite moment of the fight sequence when she's burning the mask off his face is
hmm
freaking good.
Yeah, it is.
Just the sell job of Kane Hodder.
hmm
Great acting by him. No
I
one
agree.
gives him. You want to talk about why he stuck around as Jason? Go watch that scene.
Yes.
He he played Jason great, but he acted really, really great.
hmm
And it's a shame more stuntmen. It's funny when I was doing the thing from Another World with Butch, the original and the remake. When we did that one, I was talking about the guy who did Gunsmoke, the guy who went on and starred in Gunsmoke. Well, he played the original monster in the original,
hmm
and he had a career because of being in Gunsmoke. More stuntmen need to get and don't get me wrong, I get they have a calling and they're good at playing monsters, but more stuntmen need to get out of the costume and into playing a character.
Mhm.
That's something I want to see more of from stuntmen,
I
especially
agree.
especially the big tall ones. It would just be nice to see,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
Overall, what do you guys give this? 1 out of 10.
I would say an 8 out of 10.
I'm gonna go with a 7. The ending of it kind of, with the dad, kind of kicked it back a couple of points for me, and sometimes it was hard for me to remember a lot of stuff in the middle. I was telling Daniel earlier that when I watched this the first time, I remembered the beginning and the end of it very well, but I forgot a lot of it in the middle before I watched it again. So I'm going to go with I'm going to say it's a solid 7.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I don't love that end.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But well, here's the thing: the remake. When we get to that, my problem is well at the end. But
Hmm.
there's some you have to find a better way to end your movie,
Hmm.
and you definitely have to find a better character to end your movie with. Um, Again, the girl has telekinesis. She can move things with her mind. There's a lot of things you could have did.
Hmm.
I felt she could have just made the dock collapse like she did
Yeah.
with her dad, but
Hmm.
that doesn't happen. Um, Again, there's other ways you can do stuff. So here's my question for you guys, since we'll get off Friday the 13th for a bit. Um, what do you, because you guys were talking, Mark was talking about male and female characters. What did you think of John Tate as a character?
Oh, I actually liked him. I know some people might not like him because you know he did do some stuff a lot of people wouldn't like, but gotta remember he was a
Yeah,
teenager too.
Hmm.
man, Mark.
I liked him. I thought he was relatable and I could understand, because it was like, in some ways he was a lot more mature than Lori, or Carrie Tate, um, and a lot more rational and sane. But I really liked him. I felt like he played that back and forth with her really, really well. I liked, and I loved the relationship he had with her.
Yeah, the town sequences between Josh Hart and Jamie Lee Curtis are really good. Even
Mm.
in their home sequences are really good. He's a bit of a brat for a teenager, but he
Yeah.
grows on you to the degree of you understand why he is the way he is, because
Hmm.
he's been hearing about Michael Myers ever since he could probably crawl.
Hmm.
Um, my favorite part of each show with him is when he hears a sound and he looks and he's looking like, wait, what was that? It's looked like he saw something. Again, I have not bought the new DVDs yet, but I hope they have a scene where when they show that scene in the movie, he maybe sees Michael walk past. Like, wait, what was that? Like,
Hmm.
like get that chill moment up your spine. Like, yeah, your mom was right, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that, their relationship a lot. I mean, he could have had a lot more bad habits. I mean, he was
Yeah.
bratty, but with the kind of sheltered life he had, um, there's so many things that could have gone wrong with him and his behavior and how he turned out. But I thought he was a pretty likable kid, and that's
Mm,
saying something, because usually kids in horror movies are annoying as crap. So I liked him a lot.
yeah. He's he's somebody who wants freedom
Hmm.
and does not believe Michael Myers is alive and shouldn't.
Hmm.
I do. My biggest regret, not with the character, but with him, is we don't. I wanted to have him look at his mother and say, I was wrong. We don't get that in that movie.
Hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that would have been good too. I was wrong, Mom. Your brother's an asshole too. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was wrong.
yeah.
Oh my god. Well, H2O is crazy. Jesus, like I love how like the Dr. Loomis has the deduction board. He's trying to find Michael before he dies. Nah,
Hmm.
he passes away, but it's just crazy. What did you guys think of what did you what did you guys think of the guy who played Jason in Jason versus Freddy? Ken, I forget his name.
I actually didn't mind him. Didn't they hire him specifically because he was taller than Robert Englund?
I believe so.
Hmm. I I didn't mind him either. I think he gets a bad rap,
Mm.
um, because because he wasn't Kane Hodder, and I can understand like gatekeeping fans wanting it to be Kane and feeling like he earned that, but I don't think he did bad.
Well, here's the thing too. Like when they announced that Billy Zane was going to play the Phantom in the Phantom movie, it made sense to me because the Phantom's this tall figure. But
Yeah.
when you see Billy Zane in that purple outfit, it's like, God damn, Billy Zane is tall as shit and lengthy.
Hmm.
And so it's like, at, don't get me wrong, he does a great job in the movie. But it's like it almost looks like the way they shot this movie, there's times he looks too tall, but he's not. It's just the way he's built.
Hmm.
I think that's something that happens with film that, okay, we made this casting choice for this reason, and I think if they honestly would have went with Kane, they would have said, "Oh, you know what? We made the right choice." Because Kane Hodder's not some short dude, but I
Right.
think they wanted somebody who was taller than Robert Englund because Jason's
Hmm.
supposed to be this tall, thick
Hmm.
hillbilly from hell, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But kid who drowned in a lake. But
Hmm.
again, Ken did a really good job. I love when he's standing in the cornfield and they light his ass on fire.
Oh
Um,
yeah. and a lot of the promos that they did to make it look like a real fight, where they had a weigh in and stuff that they did to make it look like a heavyweight fight. Those were fun, but yeah,
it
I
was
think it would have been harder where Robert was taller to really sell this thing.
it was on ESPN.
Hmm. Yep, I remember them. I remember those. That was fun.
Like the horror icons have made it when they're on ESPN Sports Center and people are debating Freddy versus Jason. Who you got? My favorite one was when they were debating Alien versus Predator and they were given the tail of the tape and shit. Oh my god.
Hmm.
And when Freddy versus Jason was coming out, did you guys have a bunch of people trying to tell you that Freddy won?
Yes, and I'm gonna borrow a quote from my buddy Butch Rosenbaum. Jason beat Freddy's pussy ass. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I shouldn't say a bunch of people, but yeah, I remember people in school saying Freddy won, but he really didn't. It was kind of a tie, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I fig- I figure I'll give Butch a shout out since he couldn't be here for this video.
Now, I did hear a fan. I mean, I have heard a theory that the reason people think well, I shouldn't say people think that, but I have heard that that's actually supposed to be in the dream world, so Freddy did win. But the thing about that is, if he is in the dream world, we know he got out because Freddy, Jason Goes to Hell takes place after Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
excuse me. Oh wait, yeah.
Well, here's the thing too. Like with Freddy versus Jason, you're right, does take place after Jason Goes to Hell, because Freddy goes, I searched the bowels of hell, and I found somebody who will make them remember me, and it's Jason. and he uses like Pamela Voorhees. We actually get Betsy Palmer in another Friday the 13th movie, thank God.
Mhm.
But um, really good stuff with that movie too. I love the effects, the acting in it's really good, and I love the fact that they actually found a way to make this fight happen. And
Mhm.
I think that's the thing too. Should get a lot of credit basically for them knowing, you know what, we did this, we can
Mhm.
definitely do Freddy versus Jason. And because I mean, Freddy deals with a lot of, when he's in the dream world, he can just bounce you around, and we actually see that with Jason in the dream
Mhm.
world. Um, it's just, I'd asked this of Daniel Ferens. Do you think we'll ever get Freddy versus or Jason versus Michael? And he goes, no. um, it shattered my heart on the spot. But
Mhm.
I don't think we will either. I think that ship has just sailed, unfortunately,
Mhm.
because at the time, I mean, it felt like we got Freddy versus Jason, we got Alien versus Predator. And by the way, we got Alien versus Predator in the comics before we got it on film.
Mhm.
So, and I've heard many people say, and I somewhat agree with this now, is a friend of mine had said Alien and Predator never belong together. And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, go look into it. You'll see. And I'm like, all right. And you were right. There you go.
But yeah, I think some part of me feels like if I don't know, Michael seems too. I like having him as his own separate thing. I
Yeah,
think having him, I don't know. I'm not going to say it would make him less scary, but I just like seeing Michael and Halloween as its own thing and
yeah,
left alone by itself.
yeah. Now they had talked about one point of doing Michael versus Pinhead,
Hmm.
which would have been interesting.
Hmm.
And I do believe John Carpenter was wanting to do it with Clive Barker.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it'd have been cool. I mean, but my thing of it is, how would you have explained that and kept Michael normal? You
Hmm.
know, but I don't know how they would have did it. It never got done, but it'd have been interesting. I'd have watched it.
Hmm. Oh yeah, of course. I would have given it a shot.
What do you think, Dan?
I'm actually not sure about Alien and Predator not going together because in the second Predator movie, you can see a xenomorph skull. So I always thought like, you know, they've maybe always kind of planned for that a little bit.
They did. See, I'm with you. They planned for it, and I've always told my other friend this, that well, they did plan for it in the movie. Here's what I think happened, and I'll stand by this in my opinion, that some franchise Alien didn't want to put another franchise Predator over.
Subtle.
Uh,
Oh, that's not
uh,
good.
Bless
that's the opinion I'll stand by.
Oh, that's understandable. As far as the Michael versus Pinhead thing goes, I actually don't think that would be that bad of a concept if you think about it, because
Yeah,
Pinhead's supposed to be like, like a demon, and Michael was pure evil. And like I could see it like Pinhead being like, you're pure evil, but somehow you've avoided hell.
yeah,
you.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. In that case, so has the Shadow.
Yeah, true.
Evil, pure evil, fighting evil, and the Shadow has avoided hell more than anybody. Fuck,
True.
that's that's just sick. Anyway, could you see? Could you guys see Chucky versus Michael?
Um, Honestly, I don't know. I could see them attempting that though. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
If they were making a 20-minute short film, yes, and I think Michael would win. But um, um, the only way I could see them having a chance at that is if somehow they were able to make like an army of Chuckies,
Nah.
to somehow surround Michael. But even then, I just
See,
don't know.
that's basically my suggestion for Chucky versus Michael is just take Don Mancini's series and where Chucky's has all these dolls, and Andy starts researching serial killers because he wants to get rid of Chucky. He would like altogether, and he comes across the history of Michael Myers, the history of Haddonfield. So he moves into the Myers house, and he sends Chucky his address and starts taunting him. And by the time Chucky gets there, it's Halloween. Chucky goes to kill Andy. Then you see this foot just kick Chucky out the window and flying through the air, and here's Michael Myers.
Yeah.
No, I do. I think there's some characters, honestly, who you should not put together. I do think eventually we'll see Chucky versus somebody. But I don't know. It just I like the series how it's going, but because I think they have a lot of interesting characters. But I don't want them to end it with, oh, we're just going to do this and do this crazy crossover. Like, no, if you're going to actually set something up correctly, then do so. But have a don't just have it be where you're crossing something over because you have no idea where you want it to take your series. I don't think that's the case for Don Mancini. I think he has a lot of vision for his series because I like it. But are you guys excited about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game?
Um, I'm probably gonna play it. Yeah, I actually really haven't thought about it, but yeah, I'll probably play it.
I didn't even know it was coming. So now that you mention it, yes.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming. Gun Media, who did the Friday the 13th game, is doing it. So I'm excited. The RoboCop game just came out too. I've been playing a lot. What have you guys been playing? I know what I've been playing.
I lately I've actually been playing, the Last of Us series.
Go.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Mark.
I haven't got to play my PlayStation in weeks, so um and usually when I do, I'll play Skyrim for a few minutes, and I'm usually like, I don't know if it's something about the music or the scenery, it just relaxes me and I'm asleep in minutes. But um I haven't really got to play that much recently, but I've been looking for some stuff to try to get into and play.
I've been playing. Well, I've been playing the extraction shooter that is Hunt Showdown. They have a Gator boss coming. I don't know when they're going to drop that shit. Because you got to collect the Gator traps. My only real issue with this is every boss is in a building, and now there are other hunters, by the way, which you got to kill too, which are other players. Now you could either do solo, which if you do solo, you get more money, which I prefer doing because I hate teammates because my teammates just ditch my ass. Thank you, but it's not good. It's not good. Well, here's the thing too. There's this place on the map called Pelican Island Prison. They're fighting they're fighting the boss. I'm up on a sniper perch looking for other hunters. So the hunters come the other way around, avoiding my ass altogether. And I'm still on my sniper perch. Finally, one comes in view. Bam! Right in the back of Jesse James's ass, killing him instantly. I look for another hunter. Boom! Killed him. I go down, revive my one teammate. My other teammate comes around, finishes off the boss. We get the bounty and we leave. Now, by myself, there was these 3 hunters fighting a scrap beak, which they can throw these razor spikes at your ass. I had a bomb lance. A bomb lance is you shoot like these little darts that explode, but it has a razor at the end where you can just go and cut them in half. I killed all 3 hunters by myself by blowing their asses up.
Wow.
and,
Good job.
and collected the bounty and left. Because here's the thing, across the map, I could hear a gunfight. I could hear a boss fight happening. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not chancing that one. I just killed 3. I'm good. I'm good. I'm not fighting another pack of hunters. No, because my luck won't turn out the same way. Because a lot of the thing is situational with Hunt Showdown. Like the best gun is a nitro, and let me tell you, if somebody has a nitro and they're high up and you're in the open field, you are fucked horrible. That it takes literally, and here's the thing: a lot of these people like have great aim. One hit from that gun, I don't care if your health's all the way up, you're done. That's how powerful that gun is. Now, if a bomb lands that I use, if you get close enough to somebody and you just hit them with it, they're dead. They're like, I literally hit a hunter so hard. There was these Inferno maps. No, this is no longer a thing, but there was these Inferno maps. I knocked the hunter into the fire and I could not loot the hunter. I'm like, son of a bitch. So wrong. So wrong. And then I turn around and I got shot in the face and I'm like, damn it. That was dead. That was like, you will literally, I was telling Daniel this, you will literally get dropped in the middle of a gunfight. Like, welcome to Hunt Showdown.
There you go. What do you think about the Evil Dead movie that's coming out soon?
I'm excited.
I think it looks awesome.
I'm excited.
Same. And one series that I'm trying to twist my own arm and get myself into. They're making a new sequel to The Exorcist. I've never seen the original. I've been trying to make myself watch it.
If you can get past the crucifixion being stabbed into the crotch, you'll be fine.
Oh yeah. I've heard of that. So, but I've not watched the original. I love Linda Blair, and I recently watched a Wes Craven movie that she was in called Summer of Fear. It's on Tubi, and it was really good. I enjoyed it. So I'm trying to make myself watch that and watch 2, even though I know that 2 is often supposed to be like a lot of people say it's the worst horror movie ever made. And watch Exorcist 3. So I'm trying to watch all 3 of them this year before those new ones come out.
Fun story about The Exorcist 2. John Carpenter wanted to write and direct The Exorcist 2. And
really?
And then when someone else wrote it, had already written a script for it, he looked at it and he goes, "Where's the exorcism?"
Yeah.
And Carpenter goes, "No, I'm out. This is not going to be good." And he was right.
Yeah. Right. I don't know anything about it other than I know it has Linda Blair and James Earl Jones. That's about all I know.
No. Great actors, but not a great movie. No, 3's okay. 3's pretty good. If you want to see Linda Blair in something really, really good, Savage Streets.
I've been wanting to see that too.
Really good. Really good. It's basically like Death Wish, but with a female.
Nice.
The other side of Charles Bronson. I was telling my wife about Breakheart Pass. I was trying to get her to watch that, and I said, basically, I said, imagine, you know how they're. I was telling you've seen the movie Terror Train? She goes, yeah. I said, well, this is like Terror Train, but a Western in a sense. Like there's a serial killer, but there's also like a group of killers too. and you're not sure what the hell Charles Bronson's character is at all. You're told he's a killer, but you're not sure, and then you find out he's not.
Mhm.
But really good movie. Ben Johnson's in it. By the way, Ben Johnson's also in the original Terror Train too,
Mhm.
which is really interesting. I like him and Jamie Lee Curtis's chemistry in that movie. He plays the
Mhm.
conductor, but Ben Johnson was like a Western legend in the movies. But just really good performance by him and Jamie Lee in that movie and for Terror Train. Did you guys see the remake of Terror Train?
No, I haven't.
I
It's
haven't
on.
yet.
It's well, there's the remake and there's the sequel to the remake. It's on Tubi. It's the remake's pretty good, but the sequel's like really.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll tell you who I missed in the movie most in the remake. I miss fucking David Copperfield. The fact that they got who was the guy who was going to go to be on one of the world's greatest magicians to be in the original freaking Terror Train, and I think David Cooper
Yeah.
or David Copperfield just took the role to show that he could perform,
Mhm.
and it worked.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
great performer. But yeah, just is there anything you guys are looking forward to? I know Evil Dead.
Oh yeah, Saw 10.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yep.
We're hoping to hear news about the potential Dark Shadow series. We're hoping. Catherine
Yeah,
Lee,
it's moving forward.
yeah,
It's
Catherine Lee Scott
it's
talked
making
about.
some leaps and bounds. So
Yeah. Where do you see it getting picked up, Mark?
to be honest, I'm not sure. You mean like what studio
Or just what streaming service or what network or whatever?
I'm hoping not Netflix because
Yeah.
it just seems to be too much interference with them, and they cancel stuff all the time, and I think sometimes prematurely. And like the Midnight Club, I personally love the Midnight Club, and was looking forward to it going on to another season, and hated that. I think they ended their deal with Mike Flanagan, who had done so much good stuff for them.
Yeah. Yeah, Netflix is not exactly a trustworthy place right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They have issues. Where do you see? Where would you see Dark Shadows getting picked up at, Daniel?
I would say Hulu, but I'm
Yeah,
not 100% sure about if that would be a good idea or not, because for those that don't know, Disney partially owns Hulu, so they might have to, you know, well, Dark Shadows wasn't really that inappropriate to begin with, but they might not be able to do their whole potential. Well, like if they want to make it inappropriate, they might not be able to. If you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I've said this. I'll say NBC. I'll say Peacock. Now, I'm not in favor of that per se because again they've had their issues too. But I find it at the end of last year, the Dark Shadows series, at least the Barnabas Collins arc, started being played on Peacock, and I found that real interesting. So it means they got permission to play at least that part of it. So I don't know. We'll see. I hope they just land somewhere safe where they can do whatever they want with it.
Yeah.
But time will tell, and hopefully we'll get a new Dark Shadow series up and rolling, and we'll all be watching and talking about it. But
yeah.
until then, we don't know. I know, Kathleen Scott gave a great interview talking about, she thinks it's going to be picked up by this year, which I'm crossing my fingers on that
Same,
one.
man. Same here.
But really, really, I'll give you guys a series to check out since Patrick and Gordon freaking turned me on to this. The Original Prisoner, which is on Tubi. It stars Patrick McGowan. Very on a scale of 1 to 10 for weird, it rates about a 20. Listen, anytime you can get a balloon to absorb people and drag them back to their location, it's fucked up.
Oh, yeah. The reason I also said Hulu is also because the Revival's on there. So,
Yeah.
but I could be wrong. I know I said Disney owns it, but they did a lot. There is a spin-off of American Horror Story called American Horror Stories. So every time
I've seen that.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because of its similar name. I have to always, when I talk about, I have to specify to people stories.
Daniel, what do you see Disney doing with Dragon Ball? Anything?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I know people said they own the movie rights because they bought from Fox, but I don't know if they really can because I don't think Akira Toriyama would let them. But
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe, but hopefully they do a good job. And for those who saw that picture of Goku in like a Disney animated style, that was fake.
Listen, me and Daniel talked about this. If Disney does something, get Akira Toriyama to write and direct the goddamn thing. Like
Yeah,
seriously, but you would think with all the superhero movies they're doing, they would do Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah, it's true. Now, actually, it's weird what they did with The Simpsons. For those that don't know, like I said, they partially own Hulu, but it's really weird what they do with The Simpsons. Season 1 through I think 34. I don't remember whichever was last season is on Disney Plus, and the current season is on Hulu. So you actually have to have 2 services to have every episode of The Simpsons now. Well, to be able to watch them all.
Yeah, you do.
That's weird.
You do, because I have one, and my sister-in-law has the other. My sister-in-law has Hulu, and I have Disney Plus. Yeah, that's. Oh my god! Who would you cast as Goku, Daniel?
Oh, I'm not sure. And I know people are probably gonna say Jackie Chan, but let's be honest, he's way too old now.
Yeah.
However, I would say have Jackie Chan play Roshi instead.
Yep.
But who to get? I'm gonna say, and I know this might sound like a joke, but I think he could pull it off. I'd say Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see him. There was another. Who was that one guy? I forget his name, but he was in again, this is a while ago too, though, so I'm trying to consider age. But he was in Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. He played one of the villains. He played the lead villain. They called him DK. But I would say him. But again, it's been a while since that movie came out, though, too.
I wouldn't mind if they do start with the original Dragon Ball to actually get an up and comer. That way they can actually help someone to fame.
Yep, it would make sense though too. Like, there's nothing wrong with like starting off from the beginning, or starting off with a younger version of Goku, like from the kid. I like when I was watching Dragon Ball Z, I enjoyed Dragon Ball. So, guys, is there anything you want to add about Friday the 13th Part 7 before we get on out of here?
I just want to say I'd recommend it. I think I think it was a pretty cool concept, and I mean, there's a lot worse things you can watch. I mean, this one was a good one.
Oh yeah, there's a lot worse you can watch. Hey, I'd recommend it too.
Mm-hmm.
There is. Me and Daniel have watched some pretty worse.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
Same.
Yeah, we've seen Dragon Ball Evolution, and for those who have never seen that, it is really bad. We're not exaggerating. It's actually pretty bad.
I remember watching that. I remember watching it, and literally the day I watched it, my brother called me. He goes, "Goku went to fucking high school. And I had to pull the phone away from my ear, and he was still cursing. I'm like, yeah, I see it. I see it. Fuck. He's right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'll see you guys next Monday for Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. You guys have a good night.
You too. Thank you, man. Good night,
Yep.
guys.
Bye.
Good night.